Morning, my friends. I hope things are going great there at Lawson Road this morning, and y'all have already had a really great morning of praise and worship for our Lord there with Pastor Richard. I know he's got great things planned for y'all today, and I'm sporting my school colors today for Stephen F. Austin, so I can cheer on the Lady Jacks this afternoon as they start playing in the big NCAA tournament. So act some Jacks. So anyway. Back in the 80s or maybe 90s, I can't remember which one it was, it became the big thing for people to use the phrase, "you're in my space." And all of a sudden, if you got too close to somebody, they'd look at you and they'd say that you needed to get out of their space. You know, people began to act like there was an imaginary border all around them that they didn't want anybody to cross. We're still kind of like that in a lot of things that we do. Sometimes we actually put up imaginary borders around ourselves. Now, a lot of times it's when we feel like God calls us to do something that's uncomfortable or we're a little hesitant to do it. And we have a tendency to doubt ourselves and then shy away from what God has for us to do, and because we're either afraid, hesitant, or we don't think we're equipped to do the job. And we put up that invisible border around us to protect ourselves. At the beginning of Matthew chapter 10, Jesus told the disciples that he was going to send them out and they were going to spread the gospel, they were going to drive out spirits, and they were going to heal diseases. I don't know about you guys, but right there I'd have had to say, wait a minute. I'm pretty nervous about that. And, I'd have to say, I don't think that's just really me. That's not something that I can do. And then boom, there went my border around me to protect me. But Jesus went on to tell those disciples something that gave them confidence. He gave them authority. He gave them his authority to go out and do the job. And that gave the disciples the confidence they needed to go beyond their borders and trust Jesus and act on what he had told them to do. That's the key, isn't it? We know that if God has called us to do something, he's going to equip us to do it. And the problem is that oftentimes we let our fears and insecurities get in the way of trusting God. Now, it's not that we haven't put our faith in God and faith in Jesus for our salvation, but it's the trusting him to equip us so that we have trouble with. Well, Tammy and I have another quote on our walls, and I know we've got a lot of those, but this one says, "Spirit, lead me, for my trust is without borders." That should be our prayer. When we feel God's calling us to do in a direction that we feel uncomfortable with, we simply need to have faith in God and trust and obey. I hope you guys have a really, really great week.